Who will own the GM plant on 36th Street once the dust settles from yesterday's big sale announcement? We know tonight that if the automaker emerges from bankruptcy protection as planned, the owner won't be the new General Motors. 24-Hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia broke this story this morning. Tony's live at the plant with what we know tonight.
Good evening, Brian. This list from federal bankruptcy court in New York shows that GM wants to keep this facility as part of the old General Motors, effectively using the bankruptcy process to get rid of the facility. So what will happen here? It's a question that, for city leaders and neighbors, does not yet have an answer.
It stands over our backyard, across the power lines.
Josh Mayville and General Motors are new neighbors. He moved in this spring, but GM is moving out. It's not just the company's workers, but the company itself. GM is using the bankruptcy process to shed itself of the facility, making it even more unlikely the automaker will ever reopen it.
It'd be nice if they turned that into something.
It's a very sad situation because the plant in and of itself was a terrific plant and did very well from a quality rating and everything else. I think its geographic location is what really hurt it.
The fact that 36th Street will stay with the old GM means the plant is almost certain to be sold, but just because the old GM is going to be named Motors Liquidation Company doesn't mean the liquidation or sale is going to be immediate.
We've been working with GM for months, and we've been trying to push them to get this property moving down a road of redevelopment, and they have virtually done nothing over the last 8 months. And I don't think this is good news. I don't think it's good news for Wyoming.
Wyoming City Manager Curtis Holt wants to see the federal government tie automotive aid money to redevelopment of plants like 36th Street. The manager says until the old GM puts the property on the market, he and the city are virtually powerless. How long will that take? Auto analyst Kim Korth says the assumption is 1.5 to 2 years. It could be longer. The old GM will be under some pressure to sell its assets, but she says the pressure may not be aimed at making it fast. It could be aimed at making the most money.
And they may make a determination that they're better off doing that in a little better economy.
When we talked with City Manager Curtis Holt here in Wyoming just a little earlier today, we talked about some of the other old GM plants that have been redeveloped, including one in Kalamazoo County's Comstock Township. That, he says, is something the city leaders have looked at. But again, until the property goes on the market, he says there is very little, if anything, that the city can do. We will be staying in touch with city leaders and continuing to keep up with the bankruptcy proceedings to learn more about 36th Street's fate. Live in Wyoming, Tony Tagliavia, 24-Hour News 8.